I know you got the notes from about the talent. You know. Eddie, it would seem to me that Katie Taylor has an edge to her this week. I mean, I've heard she's sort of cancelling interviews, she's getting in, she's doing her duties and getting out. Do you think that's what she needs to win this fight?
I think definitely the team would feel that last time they did too much on fight week. I mean, it was her homecoming. She was doing media every day from probably the week before, which is quite unusual for her, you know, especially in the ring after the media workout with children in the ring for half an hour. And, you know, I just feel like this time around the team is just trying to conserve her energy, approach the fight differently. Even in the ring walk, you saw like 5 minutes. She was on the stage just walking up and down. And I don't like to say she wasn't at her best last time, because I think that's, you know, disrespectful to the performance of Chantel Cameron. But one thing's for sure, Katie will be better this time. But I do expect Chantel to be better as well. Her confidence seems on another level. But we've just finished the media workout and both look razor sharp. I think we're going to get an unbelievable fight on Saturday.
Do you think part of it was, you know, as you mentioned, the storyline of the homecoming, and it's not that Katie's going to overlook a fight, right? But you can get sucked into the narrative of the week, like, oh, finally I'm back in Ireland and stuff like that. That time, this time it's not there, right? This time it's just about the fight.
Yeah, and I think last time, you know, most of the sort of casual fans, if you like, in the arena was expecting a routine Katie Taylor homecoming win. Like, we knew, everyone in boxing knew how tough of a fight it was. A lot of people felt like it was a 50-50 fight. But on paper, to those people, it was an upset. And, you know, Katie was beaten in her backyard. This time around, another sellout, but Katie's the underdog. You know, I think she'll rise to that. And I think the fans will also rise to that as well, knowing that she's up against it. You know, she's the underdog to win this fight. And she'll thrive on that, and she's very stubborn, and she's in for a very, very tough fight, but she's bang up for it.
Is there part of that stubbornness that almost plays into her favour for this one, right? Because, like you said, people are sort of counting out Chantel, expecting a routine win last time. Katie's going to take that underdog mentality, and she seems like the sort of person who will thrive as being the underdog.
Yeah, I think her stubbornness is a difficult one, because, you know, the sort of intelligence in the situation would be to box smart, to not get dragged into a war. But if you've ever seen Katie Taylor fight, let's be honest, that's unlikely. The difference is last time, you know, I've never really got to seen a Katie Taylor fight where after 4 rounds, she was behind, right? And she wasn't just behind, she was overrun in that fight by Chantel Cameron. Yes. So, you know, physically she weren't at her best, but Chantel got everything perfectly right. This time, I'm sure Katie's corner will be saying, you need to be up at halfway. And then if we're going to have a war, we have a war. And we battle it out till the end. But what we can't afford is to be 2 or 3 rounds behind at the halfway stage and then having a war. Do you know what I mean? Because it's very difficult. Chantel Cameron is a big puncher. She's got a tremendous engine. She's got good punch selection. She hits hard. You know, it's difficult to stand and trade with her, but Katie will do it. And she looked razor sharp today at the workout. But, you know, I think it's going to be a very tough fight.
As I mentioned earlier, she does seem to have a bit of edge to her this week. I know you've spoken that behind the scenes she can be sort of surprisingly firm. Has she ever told you to fuck off?
No, she would never say that. She would never use that kind of language. But she doesn't need to, because like, when she wants to say something, she will say it. Like, we've probably only had, say, even choice words, like, you know, maybe once or twice in her career. And I'm always petrified, but I'm always respectful. Like, you know, from everything she's achieved, I'll always give her my honest opinion of a situation. And don't forget, this is 3 back-to-back 7-figure sellout gates from Katie Taylor. Madison Square Garden, 3 arena. Like, there's no one, forget women's boxing. I mean, it's only really AJ and Tyson Fury and Canelo that can do these kind of numbers, you know, and she's a massive star. You saw that today at the workout. Like, it's, you know, it's kids to grandparents. She's an absolute legend of the country. And I just know that on Saturday, the atmosphere is going to be incredible. And for Gary Cully, you know, don't forget last time, it was like the big homecoming celebration. Gary Cully gets beat, then Katie Taylor gets beat, and it's like, as everyone does, you know, oh, that's the end. Yeah. Oh, all right, we'll go home, Irish boxing's finished. Now we're back again, and, you know, victories for both would be incredible for those guys.
Outside of this event, boxing has this reputation of letting fights marinate for too long, right? The Mayweather-Pacquiao fight is the one that everyone points to, but is that what's happening with Wilder and Joshua? Is it marinating too long, or is it just, look, they needed to box this year, it's cool to have them on the same event, and they will box in the future?
Yeah, everybody, like, the only reason they're on this card is because everybody wants them to fight. right? I'm talking about us, I'm talking about Wilder, I'm talking about Saudi Arabia. So we had 6 weeks, really, when we received a phone call from Saudi Arabia to say, do you want to fight on the card? Otto Wallin is the opponent. And at the same time, we got offered fights for Bivol and Opetaya, and AJ was up for it. He wanted to fight 3 times this year. Wilder's on the card. Victory for both. The fight's inevitable. I mean, we got from a situation of it being pretty much agreed for January to not being agreed, but now we fight in December, and hopefully we make the fight for March. So I don't think it's over marination, because I think both guys are in their primes, really. I mean, like, no one's really showing a lot of sign of decline. They're both physically, at their peak. It's a tough fight for AJ against Otto Wallin. 6 weeks notice against a southpaw. He's just coming off a big win in Russia against Gassiev. I think Parker's much more up and down for Wilder. I think he'll deal with him. But if they win, I have no doubt you'll see that fight.
Obviously, the Saudis got you and Frank in a conversation, but really the conversation I've always wanted to see is you and Leonard Ellaby, your old friend.
Yeah, where's he gone?
I don't know, he seems to have disappeared a little bit.
Yeah, shame.
And maybe you could give him some fashion tips. I know you're a men's health guy now.
Yeah, no, look, Leonard, when we made our move to DAZN, we know what we're doing. We saw the future. We believe the future is streaming. Okay, we took a big leap with a new broadcast partner. And all these people, Ellen Ellaby, other promoters that have since been on the DAZN platform. Oh, what's this app? Who watches an app? And Leonard was one of them. And now PBC don't have a broadcaster. In fact, they've been talking to DAZN about trying to get on the app. So I think people are seeing the strength of the product and the strength of particularly the schedule. And I don't know who Leonard Ellaby's representing at the moment, but I do miss him. I haven't seen him have a pop for a while.
Do you think that's mutual? Do you think he misses you?
Absolutely not. No. I think he probably looks at me every day and thinks, fucking can't stand this geezer. But that's all right. I like winding people up. But, you can't take it too seriously. It's like, when me and Frank got together last week, kind of did feel like, probably should have done this a while ago. Yeah. But in your world as well, the social media world and the clickbait world, it's like little lines from no one watches the whole interview. It just said, Eddie Hearn's this and that, and I watch it and go, right, and it will say Eddie Hearn says Frank Warren's this, but he don't actually watch the interview. And we both say things back and forward, but I guess fans love that as well. So you can't take it too personally, which unfortunately a lot of people do.
Which do you enjoy more, when Dana shits on Espinosa, De La Hoya, or Bob Arum?
Oh, that's a very good question. Very good question. I mean, the problem with Espinosa, and I've said, I really had a great opportunity to stick the knife in on Espinosa when Showtime left boxing. I said they would, albeit 2 years ago, but I said they would. But I'm actually sad that Showtime have left boxing, because I think they were great for boxing. And I've never really got on with Espinosa lately. I've got my reasons for that, but it's also...
I think my boss once described him as a weasel.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, I loved that. That really made me smile. But Stephen is also, he's a good businessman, and he's done a good job for boxing. That's not, we can't, it didn't work for him, and obviously didn't work out very well, but in that interim period, he worked hard for the sport. So, but the thing that annoys me about Stephen is he likes tweets slagging me off, like tweets that might have 200 views, and I'm like, what do? Do you search my name? And then just and it will come up on my feed sometimes, Stephen Espinosa likes. And it's like some absolute random waffle. And I think, wow, it's really got you, hasn't it? Yeah. Bad inside. So when Dana goes after those guys, yeah, I like it. I do really like it. I mean, he's never gone after me. Touch wood. Yeah, we get on all right. I respect him. And, I think our business is the closest thing to UFC in boxing. And we look at that brand and that business with huge respect and as an educator for our team. So
this is why he likes you, because you're nice about him.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, but I wouldn't. But it's not a case of. But by the way, the thing I'll say about Dana is I always take people how I find them. Right. The first time I met Dana White was at the UFC Performance Center. Daniel Jacobs was training ahead of the Canelo Alvarez fight, and he was watching his son on the pads. Right. I saw him. I was a bit in awe. This was, 5-6 years ago, something like that, 5 years ago. And I was like, went over, I said hello. And he started talking to me and he said, let me give you a tour of the place. And I thought, wow, that's actually a really nice thing to do. Like, you know, showed me the whole office. Then he said, do you want to come and look at the studio we're building across the road? And I was like, wow, you know, got me in his car, took me over to the performance centre, showed me the studio, showed me the broadcast area, the production suites. And, you know, that was, I really respected that. And then when we've kept in touch ever since, and when he came to UFC London, I said, oh, I'd love to come. And he sat me right next to him, like a foot from the cage. So
Trump spot, that's where Trump gets.
Well, yeah, similar. But, you know.
Same sort of hair.
Yeah, cheers, mate. You can talk. Fucking hell. And like, it's, you know, that was, and that's not him, like, he don't need anything from me. But I just, you know, I take note of things like that. And, yeah, always, I've got no reason to talk negatively of him. Seems like a great bloke, got great business, you know, very driven. In fact, sounds a lot like me.
Cheers. Similar hairline, same sort of clothing,
Yeah,
you know.
I wish I was in his shape though.
You're getting there.
Yeah, not like him.
Yeah, no, but 84-hour like fast is a bit intense.
I know. I was going to try it the other day. I'd done about 5 hours and I got to LA airport and had a pizza.
Well, there you go.